In this video, we'll be taking a look at 3 MLB games happening on September 9th, 2022. Welcome back to Cash Out Sports. Let's dive right into it. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe and to click the bell icon to get notified as soon as these videos get released so that you have more time to plan out your bets as we provide these videos on a daily basis. I can guarantee that you'll have all the important information that you'll need on these 3 MLB games after fully watching this video. One more thing before we start. If you would like to gain access to our best exclusive betting picks to take your sports betting journey to the next level, then check out our Patreon in the link down below where we offer anywhere from 1 betting pick a day up to 10 betting picks a day and much more. Now let's get started. Toronto Blue Jays versus Texas Rangers. A pair of American League teams open up a weekend series on the diamond in search of a win in the Lone Star State. The Toronto Blue Jays are on the road as they travel to face the Texas Rangers in the opening game of a 3-game series tonight. Toronto took 3 of 4 on the road from Baltimore as they won the finale of the series 4-1 Wednesday night. Texas fell 4-3 in 10 innings on the road to Houston in the rubber game of their 3-game set Wednesday night. In the first series this season between the teams, the Blue Jays took 2 of 3 at home April 8th and April 10th in the opening series of the year. The Jays are 6-1 in the last 7 overall and 12-2 in their last 14 road games. Toronto is 4-1 in their last 5 after a win. Meanwhile, the Rangers are 14-37 in their last 51 Friday games and 1-4 in their last 5 versus a team with a winning record. Texas is 1-10 in their last 11 overall. Looking at the previous 7 starts, Ross Stripling is 3-1 with a 2.5 earned run average and a 0.83 WHIP, while Dane Dunning is 2-2 with a 4.34 earned run average and a 1.47 WHIP in that stretch. Looking at the pitching staff as a whole, they have been on 2 completely different levels when looking at their strikeout-to-walk ratio. Toronto is 5th in the majors with a 3.31 strikeout-to-walk ratio, while Texas is 26th in MLB with a 2.26 strikeout-to-ratio during these games. The Blue Jays have won in 5 of the last 6 games against the Rangers. Stripling has had a few ups and downs over his last handful of starts, but overall he's doing pretty well these days. In his most recent trio of outings, Stripling has 7 earned in 18 innings on 15 hits and 4 walks. He's 2-1 in that time. As for Dunning, he's got 11 earned in his last 14 innings combined and is 0-2 in his last 3. Toronto should be in control here, so the Toronto Blue Jays money line is our full game side pick. Toronto has seen the over hit in 70 of their 136 games this season, with 2 pushes entering Thursday's action. The Blue Jays are tied for 5th in runs per game with 4.68 runs per contest, though that number climbs slightly to 4.99 runs per game on the road this season. That is 3rd in the majors when it comes to run production on the road. Toronto's average total this season is 8.89 runs per game, and that number slips to 8.85 runs per game on the road. Texas has seen the over post a 66-64-6 record in 136 games on the year entering Thursday night. The Rangers are 12th in runs per game with 4.45 runs per contest, and that drops to 4.21 runs per game at home on the year. Texas has an average total of 8.99 runs per game, and that number climbs to an average of 9.1 runs per game at home. This total seems a little low given the production each team has put up at the plate this season. Both teams have been scoring runs in their last few weeks as the Blue Jays are scoring 4.27 runs per game in their last 15 games, while the Rangers are averaging 4.54 runs per game in their previous 13 games. Even throughout the season, both teams have been hitting incredibly well for power as Toronto is 8th in the sport with 166 team home runs, while Texas is right behind them with 163 team homers, which is 9th in MLB. The over is 11-5-1 in their last 17 games played in Texas between these teams. Over the projected total is our full game total pick. Los Angeles Angels versus Houston Astros. Los Angeles will try to bounce back from a 5-4 loss to Detroit when it travels to Houston for a series opener on Friday night. The Angels won the first 2 games of their series against Detroit before losing the finale on Wednesday. Houston has won 3 consecutive series, including a win over the Angels last weekend. The Angels are 23-55 in their last 78 Friday games and 4-0 in their last 4 games following a loss. The Astros are 44-17 in their last 6 61 home games and 51-25 in their last 76 overall. The over is 3-0-1 in Angels' last 4 overall. The under is 5-1 in Astros' last 6 overall. The Angels are 23-48 in the last 71 meetings in Houston and 25-54 in the last 79 meetings. The Astros have won 7 of their last 9 games and 3 of their last 4 home games. They continue to play well offensively, scoring 17 runs in their last 4 games. Scoring won't be a problem for them in this game because they've done well against right-handers this season, and Lorenzen, who has been out for over 2 months, struggled on the mound before going on the injury list, giving up 17 runs in his last 3 starts. He gave up 12 runs in his last 2 starts against the Astros and will have a hard time slowing them down. The Angels are also playing well, but they've struggled on the road, losing 6 of their last 9 games away from home. Even though they are playing well offensively, they will have a hard time scoring against the Astros because McCullers Jr. has been dominant on the mound, giving up 5 runs in his last 4 starts. He hasn't given up a run in 2 home starts and won't have trouble keeping Los Angeles offense in check. I just don't trust the Los Angeles Angels against good teams, and the Astros have beaten them up over the years. Michael Lorenzen hasn't pitched since July 1st due to a shoulder injury, and he has a 7.52 earned run average and .297 allowed batting average on the road. The only option for me here is to side with the Houston Astros. So the Houston Astros to win and cover the spread as favorites is our full game side pick. Houston has cashed the under in 5 of its last 6 games, and McCullers has been excellent so far this season. He is facing a lifeless Los Angeles lineup on Friday night, so this should be easy for him. Lorenzen will be motivated to have a strong finish to his campaign after spending time on the injured list. He is facing a Houston team that has gone under the total in 6 straight home games. The Angels are averaging 3.82 runs per game and 3.59 runs per game on the road. They averaged 1.67 runs per game in their last 3 games against the Astros. With Houston giving up 3.14 runs per game at home, the Angels will be held under their average in this game. The Astros are averaging 4.49 runs per game and 4.42 runs per game at home. They averaged 4.67 runs per game in their last 3 games against the Angels. The Angels and Astros played under the total in 3 of their last 4 meetings. With Los Angeles giving up 3.97 runs per game on the road, the Astros won't score enough runs to push the score past the total. Under the projected total is our full game total pick. Detroit Tigers versus Kansas City Royals. Detroit will try to build off its win over the Angels when it faces Kansas City in a series opener on Friday night. The Tigers were on a 4-game losing streak before picking up a 5-4 win over Los Angeles on Wednesday. Kansas City is coming off a win as well after beating Cleveland on Wednesday. The Tigers and Royals both had the day off on Thursday. Detroit is 21-45 in their last 66 road games and 16-38 in their last 54 games overall, while the over is 4-0 in their last 4 games following a win. Kansas City is 20-7 in their last 27 games following a day off and 2-7 in their last 9 games following a win, while the over is 7-0 in their last 7 series opening games. The Royals won 3 of their last 5 games, but they are not playing well at home where they have lost 4 of their last 6 games. They aren't playing well offensively and they've been held to 3 runs or less in 3 of their last 4 games. Even though Wentz struggled in his first career start, he bounced back with a good effort in his last start, giving up only 1 hit and no runs in the game, and won't have trouble keeping Kansas City's struggling offense in check. The Tigers are also struggling, but they have won 3 of their last 4 road games. Even though they have one of the worst offenses in the league, they played well in their last 2 games and won't have trouble scoring in this game because they hit the ball very well against left-handers, and Lynch has struggled on the mound, giving up 4 or more runs in 3 of his last 4 starts. He gave up 7 runs in his last 2 starts against the Tigers and will have a hard time slowing them down. I get the reasoning for Kansas City being favored here, as the Tigers are still one of the worst hitting teams in the majors this season. However, Kansas City's not lighting the world on fire either, and Daniel Lynch has had a hard time keeping runs off of the board in a lot of his recent appearances. Joey Wentz hasn't seen a ton of big league time, but he has solid enough stuff to jump from high to triple of this season. He's got an earned run average around 3, so the stuff is there. I believe that the Tigers get to lunch here and put themselves in a spot to back up Wentz and get a W here. So the Detroit Tigers money line is our full game side pick. The Tigers are averaging 3.28 runs per game and 3.03 runs per game on the road. They averaged 3 runs per game in their last 3 games against the Royals. With Kansas City giving up 4.93 runs per game at home, the Tigers will go over their average in this game. The Royals are averaging 3.93 runs per game and 4 runs per game at home. They averaged 6.33 runs per game in their last 3 games against the Tigers. The Royals and Tigers played over the total in 4 of their last 6 meetings. With Detroit giving up 4.57 runs per game on the road, the Royals will score enough runs to push the score past the total. Over the projected total is our full game total pick. That's all for now, so if you have any other games you would like reviewed, then leave a comment down below with the game you would like analyzed. Subscribe to our channel, leave a like on this video, and we'll get to it as soon as we possibly can. We would also love to hear your opinion on the picks presented to you in this video, whether you agree or disagree with them, so leave a comment down below and do let us know.